Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I didn't send out a reminder today, so I'm hoping that maybe one or two people will join me today. Um, I wanted to talk about something that's a bit of a pet peeve to me. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm not going to rant really, but just kind of a little bit of a pet peeve. It's this whole idea of kind of fake positive thinking, right? Hey Phyllis, hey, nice of you to join me. Nice to see you. Um, just wanted to kind of talk about this idea, and we see it all the time in our Facebook feeds, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it today. Um, so there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of motivational speakers and people who do TED Talks and all of that stuff, who talk about positivity, right? And it kind of bugs, right? It kind of grates on you after a while if you're not, you know, if you're not really in a positive frame of mind. And it's quite easy to be out of a positive frame of mind when we're experiencing a pandemic, when we're stuck in our homes, when we're not interacting socially with other people other than maybe our family that's in our home with us. Um, there's a lot of potential um, you know time that we can waste just kind of chasing down these feelings of, should I be positive? Should I be feeling positive? Should I be artificially be feeling positive? Excuse me. Should I, you know, should I be doing this or that? And the reality is that, I've said this before, don't shit on yourself. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the nature of this whole sort of scenario now, is that, we've got to be kind to ourselves. We've got to give ourselves grace, and we've got to give ourselves love, and compassion too. And that means sometimes that, we can't be positive. We can't be that sort of artificially uplifted, positive outlook self that we may have been, or we may feel like we need to be, or we want to be. And that's okay, right? That's what I want you out there who are joining me on these daily calls to know that whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, however it manifests itself in you, it's okay. It is. And you're okay. As you are. Don't, if you're depressed, if you're feeling unwell, if you're, lonely, if you're happy, if you're content, if you're enjoying this splendid isolation, like in some ways I am, in other ways I'm not, then yeah, that's okay. It's okay to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. But I'm kind of, like I say, this is kind of a pet peeve. I'm kind of getting sick of seeing the whole fake positivity stuff that comes on my Facebook feed every now and again. And this is one of those cycles where, because there's something really negative going on in the world, there's a lot of people pushing this whole positivity vibe thing. I'm not going to name names, but they're pretty well known, and they've got a lot of followers on Facebook. Unlike me, I don't have a lot of followers, and I'm not sure that there's a lot of you watching. But if you are out there, give me a shout and say hello. But the reality is that we don't have to be positive, right? I know that I've said yesterday, in particular, that the freedom of our minds, this what was it called, from Man's Search for Meaning? Gosh, I can't even remember now. Hang on, I'm just going to look it up again. Tragic optimism, that's it. So tragic optimism is not falsely positive thinking, right? It's being optimistic. It's seeing the sort of the silver lining to every cloud, right? Or in this sort of scenario, the sort of good that's coming out of what's happening to us in this world, what's going on around us. And I guess from my perspective is that it's really okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be positive all the time. Occasionally we do get down on ourselves, and we do feel down, and we do feel like the world is a scary, horrible place. But it's also a really beautiful place, and I've seen a lot of really positive things that have come out of what's going on out there. A lot of people are spending their time with their children, and they're sewing masks and sending them to healthcare workers. They're doing shopping for their neighbors because their neighbors are elderly and they don't want them to risk getting out and doing stuff outside. There's a lot of positive stories that are coming out, and a lot of this sort of true kindness and humanity that we all know is there, right? And it gets lost a little bit in our day-to-day routines and our politics and our bickering over who's right and who's wrong and who's left and who's right and whatever. But the reality is that there is a lot of positive things that are coming out of this this pandemic, this situation that we're in. But like I said, I don't want to be falsely positive about it, right? I don't want us to feel like just because we see a motivational speaker and that person says, hey, all you got to do is do this and you'll be positive about everything that's going on around you, or you can just shift your mind through meditation or whatever. Yeah, those things are helpful if you are in the frame of mind, in the mindset that that's what you want to do, right? You can't change your mind without actually opening it first. And just because somebody out there is saying, hey, be positive, be whatever, isn't going to make it, happen for you. And don't feel that pressure that, you might feel to be more positive, because, it's okay, like I said, to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. So from my perspective, from where I'm actually standing, because I'm actually standing in my office right now, from where I stand, there's a lot of different perspectives on this. And, if we just, like I say, open our minds first to whatever it is that we want to achieve, and whatever it is that we want to work on, whether that's internal, or whether that's building a new skill or whatever. I like I said, there's no pressure on anyone here to come out of the other side of this with a new skill, or knowing a new language, or whatever, right? There's no pressure on you to do that. And I think that's part of this whole false positivity kind of thing. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I was so, I don't want to say I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm not feeling, I just kind of look at it and think, what are you trying to capitalize on here? What are you trying to do with people? And this is not me talking, this is the people that I see on these, in these videos that are spouting off about positivity and, all of this stuff. And I don't know if everybody has seen it, but it's been really funny. It's been really great to watch. A guy named John Krasinski, who's a comedian and actor, he's been doing some good news, which is a little thing that he's been doing from his home. It's really cute. If you haven't seen it, look it up. Google it. It's on YouTube. They're like 15-minute segments, and they're really cute. And those things, yeah, those are really about positivity. Those are pushing out these positive stories that are happening. The latest one was really amusing and amazing. Actually, it made me laugh and cry at the same time. because there was a young girl who, and I don't know if everybody's seen it, but there was a young girl who had a birthday, and her mother was supposed to take her to see Hamilton in New York, which obviously didn't happen because nothing is going on Broadway in New York. So John and his wife, who played Mary Poppins in Mary Poppins Returns, I can't remember her name, British actress, they got together and they got Lin-Manuel Miranda and the entire cast of Hamilton to literally zoom into a conversation with this young girl and sing her favorite song from Hamilton for her birthday. That's the sort of positive kind of vibration that really we are trying to push out. I think this commercialization of positivity, this whole industry around positive thinking and changing your and kind of almost forcing people to look at what they're thinking about and how they can change their minds about positivity or whatnot. That sort of thing is, from my perspective, BS. Yeah, okay. If you want to change your mind, if you want to be positive, you're going to be positive. You're going to find a way. You're going to find things that you like, that encourage you to smile, to laugh, to be positive, to be forward-looking, right? If you're not in that space and you're not in that mindset, then that's not going to happen. And seeing all of these sort of, videos and memes and things about positivity and coming out the other end with a new skill and whatever isn't necessarily gonna serve you, right? So really whatever is in service of your own needs is what you might want to explore. If exploring positivity or ways of being more positive about what's happening right now is in your mindset, then yeah, by all means, go and watch Prince EA videos or Jay Shetty or whoever else. But if it's not, then or Tony Robbins or any of the these great positive kind of motivational people. My role that I see myself in here is just connecting with you, connecting to kind of just talk about various different things, and it all just it makes sense to me that this is the positivity that I want to put out in the world. I'm talking from a place and speaking from my heart, and I'm doing this because my partner suggested it because it's the kind of thing that I'm actually quite good at. And by the way, all of these talks are totally off the cuff. Occasionally I have some notes, like yesterday when I wanted to get some quotes right, but I literally just want to address these topics because I think they resonate with people, and I hope they do. I hope they resonate with you. And I do thank you for joining me every day. And the whole idea of doing these talks from what I like to think is to really deliver that true positivity from my heart. In fact, I have this tea brand. It's called Yogi Tea, and funny enough, on every single tea bag, the little I'm going to grab it here because I want you to see it. Every single tea bag has these little tags on them, and this tag on here actually today says, "Let your heart speak to others' hearts." And that's really profound because that is exactly what I try to do with these talks every day. I try to let my heart speak to all of you because that's where our true connection is. Our true connection is not through words or videos or memes or anything like that. Really, and I've said this before, our heart is the center of our universe because without it, we're not alive. Right? We're dead. Without a beating heart, we're dead. Um, and thank you, Phyllis. I'm really glad that that's how you feel, because I do say that you are allowed to feel whatever it is that you feel, and I'm glad that you're enjoying these talks. And I'm glad that we're able to connect too, because it's important. And oftentimes we're feeling alone and lonely and isolated, right? And there's a you know this is one of the things that really, really changed my perspective about, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 months ago. um, I started to examine the difference between feeling isolated and solitude. And solitude is actually a really good, beneficial thing, and I think a lot of us could benefit from being in solitude a little bit more. But there's so many demands on our time and our lives and our being, that really challenge us to enjoy our own company. And when we are stuck with ourself, right, our own individual self, we oftentimes find it difficult to really focus on that and be happy, right? Or be positive, right? So bringing it back to what I started talking about here today about this whole false positive thing. And if you're looking outside to those videos or those memes or whatever to be positive or to feel positive about yourself, well, I'm not going to say that that's the wrong thing to do, but it's certainly not the most. I don't think that's the best way to serve yourself, your capital S self. Um, like I said, about 6 or 7 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, I can't remember when it was, I really sat with myself, my capital S self, and discovered that I actually enjoy solitude. Right? Serenity is what I like to describe it as, because it's being alone with myself. And I actually feel like maybe this time, and I'm not I'm not trying to put this on anyone. I'm not trying to, force this view down your throat or anything like that. But I feel like this is the earth telling others what I learned myself, and that is that we do need to be able to sit with ourself, capital S self, and just be, right? I've said this a couple of times. We're human beings, not doings, right? We're human. We need to be. And that in and of itself, for me, helped me look at things in a more positive way. And it's also helped me through this whole scenario where we've been isolated from other people, because I am pretty comfortable in my own skin and with my own company, but I think a lot of people are afraid, fearful of doing that, of being in their own company. I used to say that I don't like my own company because I find myself incredibly boring, but then certainly realized that, well, you know what? Actually, boring's not so bad when when you're just sitting with yourself, right? You can read, you can do other things, but you can also just literally sit with yourself. Take a dive into your heart and ask your heart what it is that you truly desire, what it is that truly makes you happy. I actually did that. I sat and closed my eyes and took that. This is the hardest journey, by the way, that you will ever take, and it's incredibly rewarding from my perspective. I found it incredibly rewarding. The hardest journey that you are ever going to take is this sort of 12, 15-inch journey from right here to right here, to the heart. From your head to your heart. It is the hardest journey really to take. And I can't tell you how incredibly rewarding it was when I finally did that and discovered what it's like to really live from the heart, right? And that's what I've been really trying to do, and that's that's the positivity that I want to spread through these talks. And the positivity is that, and like I said, and thank you, Phyllis, for reminding me, is that whatever you're feeling, it's valid, right? You you don't have to be positive. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to be looking forward to something new and exciting to come out of this. I mean, I have the hope. I am tragically optimistic, as Viktor Frankl called it, and I talked about yesterday. I am tragically optimistic that we are going to come out the other side of this with a changed society. And like I said, if my speaking from my heart to your heart enables you to live more from that perspective, and you start living and speaking more from your heart, and then your friends start doing the same thing, it multiplies. It absolutely multiplies exponentially, just like this virus. And I talked about it yesterday, that if we just literally try to do our best, and sometimes our best is literally just getting out of bed in the morning, right? It's a real struggle for a lot of people just to be themselves, and a lot of times we don't want to be ourself because we're fearful of what it is that we might find when we look at our true self. But one of the things that I would stress is that deep inside of us, in our hearts, in our souls, whatever you want to call it, there is a true timeless, boundless self, right? It is that voice that you've heard, from when you were an infant to now, right? In your head. It's that same voice. I know it's the same voice that I've heard all my life. The issue is that, unfortunately, sometimes our ego drowns it out. And I've talked about this previously before in one of my other earlier talks too. But the whole idea of this false positivity that I talk about being a pet peeve of mine is that I think it's very ego driven, right? It's the ego trying to suppress the true feelings, the true self, right? This whole false positivity and motivational kind of malarkey that people peddle to make money out of it. I guess that's their way of doing things. It's not mine, and I think that from a perspective of being a kind and loving person, I just accept whatever it is that people feel and where they are, right? And I will never try to, tell people to change the way they feel, because I can't do that. I can't control how other people feel. And I certainly can't, all I can do is do my part to give my sense of love and kindness and the feelings that I have towards, everybody in an outward kind of projection, I guess. How that's received by you, how my words are received by you, how my words make you feel, I have no control over that. And the idea that, well, basically, I accept that, okay? I accept that I have no control over what my words and actions do for others, right? All I can own is my words and my actions, right? And my thoughts and my my feelings. So that's why I'm really keen to to sort of say, whatever you're feeling, wherever you are, whatever is serving you, right? That's okay, right? And don't look at these memes and these videos and whatever, and think that, you're less than because you are, not positive, or you're not feeling the positivity or all the good vibes or whatever. That's okay too, right? And I guess from a personal point of view, if something isn't serving you, right, like spending time on social media, watching the news, the news cycles are so repetitive right now, and so constantly barraging us with such, varying degrees of information, misinformation, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's worthwhile cutting that down. Maybe that will serve you. But, like I said, it's hard to be truly positive and truly, feeling good about your capital S self, if you are not, in a state of mind, in a mindset that will allow you to do that. So don't get don't get down on yourself. Don't feel bad. Just don't. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's no right or wrong. There's no answer here, but the reality is that we don't have to be falsely positive because we see other people behaving that way and telling us that it's a good thing. Be positive when you want to be positive. Just be yourself. And what's the Oscar Wilde quote? Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Right. So I think that's really what what it's all about. And there's no reason to be feeling less than. As I say, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what you think you are, you are enough as an individual. You are, I always like to say, you're a perfectly perfect person, whatever you are and whoever you are, however you are formed, however you think, however you feel. That is the perfection of the earth, of our lives. We are all imperfect, but we are perfectly imperfect if we are imperfect. So, it's like watching a sunrise or a sunset, right? It doesn't matter what day of the year it is. The sunrise and the sunset are always perfect, okay? Because that's how they are. They're just the perfect sunrise and sunset. And just like us as individuals, if you're, one-armed, you're a perfect one-armed person, right? If you're, a quadriplegic, you're a perfect quadriplegic. It's not the way that, we normally view things, but these are the sort of differences between sort of somebody saying that, hey, you need to be positive, you need to be, whatever, versus actually saying, well, look, it's okay if you're not positive, it's okay if you're feeling what you're feeling, but, just remember, you are a perfect being as you are, right? Whatever thoughts or feelings you may have that you feel don't serve you or are to the contrary, it's that's part of you, and that's part of the perfection that you are. So anyway, I think I'm kind of butting up on my half an hour time, and I don't want to impinge on anybody's free time and lunch times or whatever. But again, thank you for listening to me today kind of rant about my pet peeve, which is these false positive kind of memes and things that are going around. But do appreciate you guys spending your lunchtime with me, and thank you very much. We'll be back again 12 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. And please, if you want to invite friends, family, colleagues from work, whatever, to watch, the more the merrier. And yeah, thank you. Have a good rest of your day, everybody, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.